Brother Christopher had a great impact on my life. I think I must bring you back to the early days. I came across Brother Christopher when he was my teacher. Now, I don't think he was a maths graduate, but he was very interested in mathematics, and because of that, he got me more interested in mathematics. As a brother, he was full of love and care. That is the difference. He doesn't see us as only students of a subject. He sees us as people to be loved and cared. And he will spend extra time to explain, spend extra time, especially when he knows the student is very weak, ask us to go to the brother's quarters and he'll coach. This sort of thing that impact me so much that I took him like a model in my teaching career. Where a student is weak, I remember, he took the student aside, help the student. I must do the same. And that's how I became also a popular teacher in that sense. L.A. Woodford was Black Bear. But I remember Black Bear because he was the one who changed my life in my studies. My English was shit. I failed my English throughout. So in Sec 3, that time was Form 4. I did very badly. But in those days, we all push up. So I went to O-level already, Form 5. And he was the one who pulled me aside. First teacher who talked to me so softly and nicely and told me, "You want to improve English?" I said, "Yeah." So he said, "Okay, you do this for me. You go to the library." I said, "What for?" "You're going to take some books and read." I said, "What books?" I never read. In all my life, I never read. Then he said, "Can you remember some of the books that you have heard people or teacher talking about?" I said, "Yeah. Annie Blyton. You know Annie Blyton?" Of course, all the other books I don't know. So he said, go to the library, look for Annie Blyton. Bring one book to me and I tell you what to do. And so he challenged me, you take this book, try and read it. Test yourself. Just try and read the first part of the first chapter this evening until you're tired, stop. Why teacher telling me like that? So I did. And then I went back to him. And then he helped me. What did you read? Tell me. And then I said, open the book. And then that's where I started developing interest in reading. So from there, because of him, I started reading quite a bit. Can you imagine? From F9, O-level, I got B3, That's nearly next to a distinction. And that started my life in being good at studies. And because of this L.A. Woodford, my life will change around. What I am today is because of him. Ging gang gully gully, what's a ging gang goo? Ging gang goo. Ging gang gully gully, what's a ging gang goo? Ging gang goo. Sheila, 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 oh, Sheila, oh, Sheila, Sheila, oh, Sheila, Sheila. La Sheila, oh, ging gang gully gully, what's a ging gang goo, ging gang goo. My father signed me up to Sunshine School right up in Sophia Road, right at the very top near the level of 4th story of Cathay Building. So I used to go there for school and used to walk down. In those days, no vehicular traffic, trishaw and rickshaw. In fact, I don't remember vehicle traffic. So I think it was in 1942, 43 or 44. I was walking down home, siren went. That was a time where the British were trying to come back to Singapore and bombing Singapore. So the siren went, I had to run down. And I did not know what to do. I ran down Sophia Road. And Sophia Road, there was this Nanhua school. I think primary, secondary school. That school was taken over by the Japanese. The Japanese had made it one of their quarters or headquarters or whatever. There was a sentry at the sentry box, gate of the school, looking down. So I don't know, silent. I ran. And then there the sentry pointed his bayonet gun at me, ready to shoot. I mean, they shoot at anybody who was on the streets. Time the British were coming back to Singapore, every time there's a bombing raid, the siren will go. And the siren will go, everybody has to keep off the streets. And this Japanese fellow pointed the gun at me. I didn't know. Suddenly, somebody opened the back door and pulled me in. The person who pulled me in was shivering. I didn't know anything. Because if he hadn't pulled me in, maybe the sentry would have just shot at me. Now, I wanted to improve the school, both academically as well as creating a better image with the community. So I launched into a very strong and new program by, first of all, introducing new subjects, like pure sciences, more pure science classes, and also allowing the teachers more freedom to interact among themselves and with the students. In fact, I was happy when some teachers could form committees to look into how they can improve the curriculum and results. And eventually, Commonwealth shocked schools in the West by being the top school in the West. So much so that they were even told RI of the West. The teachers were very happy, and I was very moved by their devotion. What happened was the next step was to change the image of the school, and that's where I got a committee of very dedicated teachers to plan strategies and new approaches and subjects combination. This, of course, shocked a lot of teachers in the West, and Commonwealth became very popular. Lots of students then applied to go to Commonwealth after the PSLE, and so Commonwealth rose in fame. More than 50% of the students are Malay. So a lot of parents came into the parent support group, the committees, SAC committee, and helped to develop. Imagine me, a Chinese man, playing sepak takraw with the boys and a newspaper man. He took that photograph, splashed it on the front page. That helped to build up the morale and the spirit of the school, and a lot of parents came in to help. And so Bedok North turned out from being a poor, mediocre, or even very weak school to be one of the top schools in the East, you see. I like to be active and to be involved in activities, even up to now. The satisfaction is to be able to satisfy that inertia in you, to want to. And then, of course, the joy of seeing people enjoying and all that okay? Helping them mostly. That is the part that sort of motivates and pushes me on. Your tuition make money and this, no money, what would you do? Doesn't matter, I just go. I think the other part in me is wanting to be of service and the satisfaction of watching people achieve and all that. A Christian Brother Catholic school, we sort of been told it's always great to be of service, great to help people and so on. And I've been all of my lifetime, even up to now. So the seed has been planted in the early school days. School, family members and so on. I have always been interested in people and especially in children. That's the reason why I went on to teaching. I love children, and quite often in interacting and teaching children, you eventually come to understand them, know their problems, know their hurts, and actually quite often their family relationship. That was what that motivated me to go into trying to help students, and in the process, automatically as a teacher, the CCA was counseling, and I became more and more interested. Subsequently, there's a suggestion that I apply for a scholarship to do counseling. Well, I still love to teach. I think it's in my blood. I love children. That's the most important part. I love children and I want to help. So one of the best ways is to teach. And I'll continue teaching even today if there's a need for me to share my expertise and so on.
Well, you can see it as a challenge or you can see it as a blessing. I see it as a blessing because this is my father, right? I mean, if it's a circumstance, it's an external thing like, if it's something external, like not within the family, all right? But this is the very parents that gave you your existence. They gave me my existence. To me, yeah, you want to see a challenge? Sure. But to me, it's a blessing. It's almost like a payback, pay forward, Call it filial piety if you want, It's an opportunity to step up. I mean, our parents took care of us when we were kids. I think it's natural. I don't know. Maybe it's an expectation, but to me, I really think, and in all of it, right, in everything that we face, right, whether it's a challenge or not, I see it as an opportunity to learn and to grow. And that's what life is all about, right? At every stage of our life, every stage of a human being's life, from an infant to a toddler, to a child, to a teenager, to a young youth, a young adult, an adult. And then as we age, tell me, where isn't there something that says there's no change? So life is one long learning curve, and what you get is what you give.
A person needs to love and be loved and cared for. And I'm very glad that Michelle has taken it upon herself to love and care for me. She makes sure that I have everything that I want. Well, almost everything. I think physically, emotionally, even spiritually. She's doing a good job, and I appreciate that. That is a very important aspect of my life now. See, I don't expect. You see, don't say far away, those close to me, the relatives, and I don't expect so much of them. Because now that I know my own limitation, whatever they can perform, okay. So far, I haven't come across many times where they say, I'm disappointed, I cannot get this, get that. Maybe in the earlier days, today, no. If they want to go into that, I say, stop. No need. Because to me, make the best of what you can and enjoy. It's very important to live an enjoyable and fulfilling life. Know what you can achieve or do, and do it. Don't aim too high, don't aim too low. I'm quite happy, quite satisfied with it, because I've lived up to, now it's already 83, 84. I have had a good life compared to most people. Why? Well, I had a varied life. Varied in the sense of activities, in the sense of livelihood, and in the sense of ability to see the world, to visit countries. I don't know, I've stayed in the UK, visited Europe, stayed in New Zealand, stayed in Australia. Of course, I traveled to Thailand, Malaysia, Japan. Also seen quite enough of the world. Haven't been to Africa though. India I've been to. No, India I've been to. Then of course Europe.